Hi, Dr. J here, and I'd like for us to begin a conversation about food and its role in our health and our well-being. The role of food in our health and our well-being and the role of nutrition cannot be understated. Truly, health comes down to, in my opinion, three things. One, how you think. Two, how you eat. And three, how you move your body. And so what I want us to do is start to really go down the rabbit hole of what food choices can do for us and how to make more appropriate food choices that allow you to have full expression of health, to be able to handle the effects of stress in your life, and to predictably be able to avoid unnecessary sickness, disease, medications, and discomfort and pain by learning how to use food more appropriately. And you know, every time I talk about food to patients or to friends or family or those seeking advice, sometimes I get a really deer in the headlight look, you know, almost like there's an overwhelm or a fear of judgment or a fear like it has to be perfection. And the first and foremost, I want to tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. And in fact, I believe there's two things that are greatly creating that anxiety, or what I call the paralysis by analysis when it comes to food. And the first is this. I believe there's a great deal of complexity that's out there presently. I mean, every time you turn around, there's another book coming out or another fad diet. You've got some expert on television, promoting their philosophy on food. And many times some of those things are really good, and they can be very beneficial to you as an individual or to our culture at large. But I think when we have so much information, it becomes daunting. And then you get, like I said, paralysis by analysis, meaning you're overthinking so much that you actually say, screw it, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing because this stuff is too hard for me to think about. So I like to keep things really simple. And so but then it being said as well, I've also tried pretty much everything under the sun. And so the simplicity that I got and I came to really was a result of me doing countless types of nutritional advice and fads and books I read, from vegetarianism to veganism to high protein, low protein, high carb, low carb, high fat, low fat, you name it. I've tried it. And I just got to the point where I just said, this is too much. I'm overthinking this. And I created a little rule that just started to make sense for me. And I found my body responded very well when I ate this way. And I just said, I'm going to eat godly food. That's it. And that's what I tell people. When they ask me, what's the secret? I go, it's really not a secret. It's just eat godly food. And what I mean by that is this. If the food that I'm eating or the food you're eating didn't once walk the earth, fly in the air, or swim in a stream, or if the food that you're eating didn't once grow from the ground or come from a tree or a plant, then guess what? It's not godly food. And your body truly wasn't intended to put that into itself to use for energy. So 85 to 90% of my nutrition, the things I put into my body, are going to follow that line of thinking. It's going to be a godly or a natural-based food. Now, I'm a huge advocate of cheating. As those of you who know me well know, I love my Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and my Snickers bars. I also grew up in Western New York, where blue cheese and chicken wings are part of our food group. Everyone from back east, you know what I'm talking about. And I also have a great deal of connection to having those foods. They remind me of growing up. They remind me of being with friends and family, of being with my dad and my brother, watching movies, having chicken wings and blue cheese. And that's important to me. And I'm not going to give it up. But here's the deal. If 90% of my week I'm eating good, healthy food that nourish my body, then I contend that it's okay to have, one night of the week that I have a fun treat, or one day of the week that I treat myself. It's a reward. So I encourage that. The second thing that I have found that makes food very hard for people to wrap their minds around with respect to change or trying to make different choices is that food is extremely addictive. And so for all you out there who have made attempts to change their nutritional habits and have failed, I'm going to tell you, it's not solely your fault. See, now food, and certain types of food, especially sugar. Sugar is an extremely addictive substance. Sugar actually affects a part of your brain called the nucleus accumbens. And the nucleus accumbens is actually the pleasure center of your brain. It has been shown in research that sugar, will stimulate this part of your brain as much, if not more, than alcohol, nicotine, adrenaline, sex, and even other stimulating drugs. So when you're talking about giving up or changing your nutrition and you're having a hard time, it's not solely just your fault, because your brain has been conditioned and has created a habit and an addiction to sugar. We're going to go on in future videos where I'm going to show you and give you some examples about how sugar destroys your cells, how it's destroying your brain, how it's leading to the creation of disease pathways in your body. I'm going to go through literally some tips that you can do to easily and effectively start eating more godly foods in a crazy busy world. And regardless of what your schedule is, I'm going to show you some tips in the next couple of videos. But as you move forward, what I'd like for you to do until next week, I want you to start thinking about a couple of things. One, start looking at your overall food choices and just ask yourself, is this a godly food that I'm eating? Was this food truly designed to nourish my body, or just a man-made processed food that's based out of a culture of convenience as opposed to what's truly there to nourish my body? And second, I want you to start looking at how much sugar, white, processed sugar, corn syrup, you name it, how much sugar are you putting into your body? Start becoming aware of that first, and in the future I'm going to start giving you tips on how to substitute that sugar and how to start changing the addictive patterns in your brain and start to really change and create better, more appropriate habits and actions that will lead to such better health, such better energy, fat loss, muscle gain if that's what you're looking for, and the ability to slow down the aging process while decreasing the likelihood of forming disease. So again, think about eating more godly foods and become more aware of the sugars you're putting in your body. And until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week. I'll talk to you soon.